Yes, everyone. So this is the importance of form and execution. It's a topic that a lot of people don't actually talk about as much as in depth as I do. Does that make sense? Yeah. Not many people talk about this as in depth as I do, and a lot of people actually don't have the a lot of people, to be fair, don't have the same knowledge as I do. They know how to train, but they don't know how to improve the smaller tweaks. When it does come down to you being a beginner, obviously this is going to be your bread and butter, this and your nutrition. But the more you get in the game, the more it's about improving the smaller tweaks. That people say the 80-20 rule, 8% nutrition, 20% training. I disagree. I think it's 60% nutrition, 30% training, 10% lifestyle. Obviously, 60% nutrition, what you eat, is always going to be your baseline. 30% your training, which, by the way, is important, is what really took my physique from good to fucking decent. And then 10% lifestyle, like how much you sleep, how much water you drink, how much alcohol you have, like these little things that do add up, especially if you want to get the best results. So let's get straight into it. The importance of form. Actually, I'm going to full screen this bad boy before I start getting too ahead of myself. Here we go. Damn, I love some coffee. Right, I'm just going to move my head here because I can't even see the fucking writing. Here we go. The importance of form and execution. So I'm not even going to read this stuff here. I'm just going to one take it. So why should we train? Important. Well, what's important? Why should we train with good form and execution? The better your form is in the gym, as long as you're eating correctly and you're not missing meals and you're getting the correct amount of protein in, the better results you're going to get. The more effective your workout's going to be. Most probably you can get more done in less time, less injury risk or lower injury risk. And yeah, it's how people really nail their progress. You probably had some guys that go, I don't need help with nutrition, and I've looked at their form and they need help with both. Guys are the worst for it. They're arrogant. Oh, my training's good. Oh, is it? Is that why you look like a bag of potatoes? Because I'm sure if it was good and you was eating properly, you would look like you actually fucking trained. So yeah, you can still train okay and have good nutrition and still get results. But if you want to get the best results, you've got to fucking nail this. Before we start talking about how to train then, how does it work when our muscles get stronger through training? Like what's the science behind it? When we train, we create microscopic tears in the muscle fibers. This controlled damage triggers a repair process where the body rebuilds the tissue stronger and larger than before. So basically, we work out muscle fibers tear from the stress, and it sends signals to our brain saying, we need more muscle fibers. And as long as you're eating correctly, as long as you've got the correct amino acids from the proteins, the correct amount of water in you, then body's going to recover, grow, and build more muscle fibers for the next session. Each rep stresses the muscle, especially the last few reps, signaling growth hormone and protein synthesis. But you must have protein in you for protein synthesis. So, how hard should we train? If you ask me, I train balls to the wall. That's how I love to train. That's why I only do 2 sets. I might do 3 on like an isolation exercise. But most of the time, it's 2 sets. And if you see how I train, you see fucking why. So it isn't about rushing through the sets intensity or lifting recklessly. No. True training intensity means working close to muscular failure whilst maintaining impeccable form. In fact, you should control the last rep better than the first rep. Oh yeah, but like I've got 7, which is good. No. You need to control that last rep better because that's when the muscle's under the most amount of resistance. And trust me, I've done both, and I've made more progress controlling the last rep better than the first rep. So you want to find your rep max, and you want to do about 75%, probably about that, right? And then you can do that in a good rep range. 0 to 2 reps to failure. Yeah, like obviously, if you're on a squat, you don't want to go 0 reps to failure. You're like, yeah, but Harrison, I've got to train hard. If you get to the bottom of the squat and you can't lift it up, you're in for some serious trouble, especially if it gets heavy. So like something like a squat, bench press, like you literally can't go 0 reps to failure, because otherwise the bar will crush you. However, a lateral raise, even like maybe even a dumbbell press or a push down, yes, you can, because if you let go of the weight, not much is really going to happen unless you let go of the dumbbell press like a fucking idiot and drop it on yourself. But most of the time, yeah, 0 to 1 rep to failure is how I'd like it. But even if you do 2 reps to failure and you still push yourself, yeah, there's still going to be some progress there. And then there's always going to be a recovery window of 48 to 72 hours. Is a very good point here. That's why a lot of you, if you're being coached by me, are not on the bro split, because most of the time, bro split only really works. It really works for very advanced lifters. But even then now, even the newer guys aren't doing bro splits, like the Mr. Olympias. But yeah, the recovery window, that's why a lot of you are on push-pull legs or upper-lower or full body, because in the recovery window, it's like 2 to 3 days, 4 max. I've had a few leg days where it's been 4 days, and that was fucking brutal. Most of the time, it's about 3 days. Mastering tempo control. Again, very important part of your lift. So let's say I'm doing a bicep curl, right? I'm here. You want to do 2 to 3 seconds down, preferably 3. So 1, 2, 3, coming down from the bicep curl. And then when we get to peak stretch, so when our biceps are fully lengthened in the arm, that's when the muscle is stretched. Hold it for a quick second. And then you have a powerful concentric phase, so a powerful lift up back into position. Then you hold it again for a second. Then you repeat that same process. So you go 1, 2, 3, pause, push, 1, 2, 3. And that's how you should do it. And if you can't do that tempo, the weight's too heavy. Lower it. Mate, no one gives a fuck about what weight you're doing. Right? I'd rather lift less weight and look fucking decent than lift loads of weight. People laugh at me because I'm a twat and ego lift. Oh, but it feels nice for me. It feels good for my ego. But realistically, I just look like a mug because I look like crap, and I'm lifting very poorly. And it says here, why does this matter here on this point? Controlling tempo eliminates momentum, keeps tension on the target muscle, and ensures every rep contributes to your progress. So it stops you using other parts of your body. And most of the time, if you fix your tempo, you fix your technique, and you find the exercise harder, good, because it's most probably isolating the muscle more effectively. Breathing, it's a good one. It's a very good one. So, when we want to breathe, right? This is a thing that a lot of people still haven't got now, and I actually learned this quite earlier on, but I learned this maybe about a year and a half ago, about that, year and a half ago. Game changer. So this is how you want to breathe. So on the way down the bicep curl, you want to do not hold it in. You want to breathe in slowly all the way down. So that's how I do it. And when we get to the bottom of the bicep curl, breathe out. That's why I grunt, because when I grunt, I'm exhaling out aggressively. Excuse me. And then on the last rep, when it starts getting really challenging, what we do is we do 3 breaths in, 3 breaths out. On that 3rd breath in, big exhale. So last rep comes in, out. And then what you're doing, this is how you control the last rep better than the first rep, by controlling the breathing. And you're just making it harder. You're providing more resistance. And when you provide it more resistance, the muscle's under more stress. It breaks down more fibers, so you have to grow. So it's just making sure on that final rep, if you can practice it, start on the lighter exercises, want to be nicer. Start on exercises like bicep curls, any isolation movements, and then go into the heavier lifts. Once you can start doing it for the heavier lifts, oh my god, you'll be walking out that set, one set, and you'll be blown to pieces in a good way. But you see here, number one, it allows more oxygen to get into the muscle whilst you're working out. So again, you can push it. I guarantee if you control your breathing, you can probably get 1 or 2 extra reps in, 100%. It's controlled aggression. So when you're keeping your composure, right, especially for the last reps, you're not rushing it. And it help here, says here, clears metabolic waste. Bracing is a good one as well. So let's do the analogy of, let's say, a dumbbell press. I'm not going to say bench press because most of you don't have that on your plan. Most of you, I'm not saying that's everyone. So there's a few good points here. Number one, core engagement. This is so important. Like bracing your core, keeping it tight, driving through your feet. So pushing your legs firmly to the ground, feet are firm. I know some of you have the habit of they've got that you do like the tiptoes whilst you're pressing. No, we need both feet leveraged onto the floor. Creates a stable base. And I need you to squeeze, like tense the whole body when you do the concentric. So the part where you're controlling the weight is your most strongest. The least strongest is actually your weakest. So example, dumbbell press. Right, so you can see me. Right, let's say I bring the dumbbell. So let's say with a dumbbell press, first of all, I need to get into a good position, and this will allow for good bracing and maximal control. So just like a race, right? You're not going to start your sprint with your legs wide open. You're going to get in a lunging position. So doing your set exactly the same. What you need to do is flick your dumbbells back, right? Get it onto the chest. Before you even press it, chest comes up, shoulder blades get pulled back, right? Feet are firm into the ground, core is braced, and then you push up. But yes, it's going to take practice. But the best advice is to not rush that starting position. Get in a good position first. If you have to lower the weight, do it, right? But because sometimes you have to lower the weight, go back to the drawing board to then improve and get better. Because once you nail this, your progress is going to be insane, especially if you don't miss meals. So you fling the weight back, fling it back, chest comes up, shoulders gets pulled back, right? Once you're in a good position, then you push up. And on the way down, what you need to do is, as you slowly control the weight, keep the chest up, drive the legs into the ground, tense the core right at the bottom of the press, right at the bottom of it, and then squeeze the whole body up. And because your legs are driving into the ground, your core is braced, and you're squeezing the whole body. What you're going to find if you do this with the breathing, you're going to get 1 or 2 more reps in, which, by the way, is so important, especially the fact that the last 2-3 reps is when the muscle is under the most resistance. It's a big point. The power of small, consistent progression. I can't stress how important this actually is. Incremental gains add up. Right, so a lot of people want to add too much weight. Oh, like this feels right. I'm going to add another 10 kilos on, 20 kilos. I'm like, what's the fucking point? Your best bet is to try add 1 to 2 reps each week, or use a smaller plate, aka the biscuit. What is the biscuits? 1.25 to 2.5 per side. That's it. Right, even though I've had it before, I had a 2.5 on per side, and I was like, I pushed it a little bit there. I should just start to the same weight and done more reps. So I'd always focus on, let's say you can do 8 reps quite comfortably, push it to about 12. When you get 12 and you're right with that, increase the weight. Or you can add on like a 1.25. That's the best bet. And let's just say, right, you add on 1 to 2 reps each week across the whole year. That's 52 to 104 extra reps across the whole year. Which means, if let's say you're doing 20 kilos for a flat dumbbell press, you start on 10, you can now do 62 reps of 20 kilos. 62 reps, and that's just 1 rep per week. If you can do 62 reps of 20 kilos, you can most probably quite comfortably rep the high 30s. So yeah, that's a big improvement to make in 1 year. But you probably do the 40s. So keep that in perspective, right? Keep that in perspective. Yes, it's not anything crazy, but we can see here, look, January 8 reps, March 12, June 18, you've most probably had to go up in weight, 100%. You might have to go up weight again. But let's say you go up in small weights. So let's say you're on your flat dumbbell press. You go from 20 to 24, 28, 32, 36. Not bad if you ask me, right? Not bad. Oof. This is when I know someone's has a lot of knowledge of their training. This is when I know someone's an advanced lifter. Is when they control the last rep better than the first rep. I don't know if you've seen this in the gym, but guys in there on the fly, doing their fly, ooh, shit form, ooh, slam the cables. Yeah, but the weight's heavy, mate. Like, I had to let it go. Little did they know that they've missed out on a vital part of the set. Vital. The final rep is the most challenging part of the set, where most people form deteriorates. Yet, if you can keep yourself composed in this part, you're just going to squeeze more out of the set. And that down with every single set you do on your program, you'll be with some serious gains. So, the last rep recruits the highest number of muscle fibers. So the last rep, I'll repeat that again. The last rep recruits the highest number of muscle fibers. So why are people dropping it? It's because it's a natural flight or fight response. So now we've got this analogy here of, okay, if the last rep recruits the highest number of muscle fibers, surely we should control the last rep better than the first rep. Yes. This is, like it says here, peak stimulation. The greatest adaptation signal. You send the strongest signal for growth whilst avoiding compensation patterns that lead to injury. So also as well, you don't get injured. That last rep's not shitty, right? So you don't use other parts of the body. You tweak your shoulder, so you have less chance of injury too. And it says on here, if you can't control the last rep better than the first rep, either you're not braced properly, your breathing's not good, or the weight's too heavy. Could be all of them. Progress is built on quality reps, not ego lifting. Quality over quantity. So let's say you're at a different gym. Harrison, what should I do? I don't know what I'm doing. So it's the best advice I can give to any of you training at a different gym. Always undershoot the load. Always. And that sounds a little bit funny. What do I mean by that? So don't try, I can normally do this weight, so I'm going to try to do the same thing. No. Just give it a go first at the lighter weight, because your best bet is to do a higher rep range and keep the quality than do a lower rep range, and the quality is just shit. Quality over quantity. So find some alternatives when you're there as well. So like, let's say they don't have a prime incline press. Just do a Smith machine, and then always undershoot the load on your first set. Then that way like the set quality is always going to be there, and you just aim for more reps. It's not going to make too much of a big difference. So, yeah. Oh, here we go. So I'm just going to play this here, and I'm going to analyze my form, just so you got a rough idea. If any of you watch this on my podcast, I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability, just so you know what I'm doing. Here's the first video. Let's try and turn this down. Here we go. Let's wait for the video. So if you're watching this on my podcast, I'm doing a pec deck, right? So I'm just going to explain how I do the pec deck. Hopefully you can somewhat understand on the audio. So you can see here already, right? My legs are braced into the ground. My chin is up, so I'm looking at the wall. My chest is nice and flared out. Shoulder blades pulled back. And we can watch the tempo. So my body does not move a single bit. It's not move a single bit. Pause it at the bottom. Squeeze up. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit longer. Pause. Push. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Push. And this is a heavy weight. Do you know what I mean? I've got nearly full stack in this. I'm about 2 pins off, and I could normally do this is my second set. So as you can see here, everything's so locked in. And you see when it gets hard, I can see where I can control breathing. So last rep comes in, control the breathing, body does not move, squeeze at the bottom. I really try to go for that without shifting my body. And if you see here, I actually control the last rep better than the first rep. I'm going to the next one. which will be, so if you're watching this on the podcast, this will be a hack squat. So get into a good position. Lower back is firmly on the bench. But you see here, that weight's heavy, and I'm still controlling it. 1, 2, 3, pause. And this is a hack squat. This is fucking brutal. See how low I get as well? So the control's always there. My body does not shift out of position. Even the set being heavy, still controlled. Right, just watch myself. Is the breathing? I even control the breathing on the hack squat. Yes, this will take time. But if your sets move like this, this is how I'm still getting stronger every week on my cut, because my training is so accurate and my volume is bang on. So if you can nail your volume, have really accurate training, keep stress low, and focus on recovery as well, yeah, you'll be getting the most out of your strength on the cut. Even look at myself there, I'm pretty happy with that set. So that's it there. Right. If any of you got any questions, let me know. If you watched this on YouTube or Spotify, thank you very much for watching to the end of it. If you're my client watching this, again, drop me a message. Or even if you just know me in general, just drop me a message if you have any questions about this. Got to the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in a bit.